Well, at the time of recording, construction work has started again at the neighbours, so we are going to be in for more banging. But let's forget about that. Let's get focused on what is happening with AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Our winning run has come to an end. We are still in with a shout of the playoffs though, but we really need to finish strongly in the last 6 games of the season. Oh, and in those 6 games, we play 3 of the top 4. Yeah, this could be tough. Let's go and see what happens today. Welcome back, everybody, once again to Dog Turds into Diamonds. We are here with AFC Rushden and Diamonds, and we are back down in 10th place in the league table. We did go as high as 6th in our winning run, but it has come to an end. You can see we lost away at Dagenham and Redbridge as the banging from the neighbours starts once again. Now that looks like a bad result. Dagenham and Redbridge are in 16th place, but they are actually a really good team. They finished in the playoffs last season. They very nearly got promotion to League 2. They have had a terrible season, but they are still capable of picking up these results. We are not the only better placed team that has lost to Dagenham and Redbridge this season. So although it looks bad, it's not actually a disgraceful result. And they are a bit of a bogey team for us as well. But if we look at how results went since you were last here, yeah, we have actually done really well. We had an 8-game unbeaten run, or sorry, a 9-game unbeaten run, 8-game winning run. The last time you were here, we beat Eastleigh and Crawley. We then continued that run with a really good 4-0 win over Boreham Wood, one of the teams down towards the bottom end of the table. So we were expecting a victory, but they weren't on bad form coming into this, and they did give us a bit of a game look. But in terms of the goals, it was 0-0 at half time. The second half, we just exploded. James Price, as he has done so often now, getting the opening goal. He has got 16 this season now. He is now our top scorer. Then Akima's onward for set up by George Lloyd, who also set up the first goal. Man, that banging is going to be annoying. Oh, man. George Lloyd then got himself on the score sheet with 2 goals, both set up by Akima's onward for. And our playing system here with that left winger, play directed out to the left, and him putting crosses in for those 2 strikers really has worked out. A really good win here. Nice to carry on our winning run. As we say, the 8 wins in a row, easily our best run of the season. And before it came to an end, we also beat Torquay, who are another team looking for one of those playoff spots. And you see, we only won 1-0, but we completely dominated the game. They didn't have a shot on target. To play against a strong team like this and put in such a good performance was absolutely superb. George Lloyd getting the only goal, another assist for Liam Gibbs, the non-league Iniesta. Just really nice performance again. Loads of confidence flowing at this point. And that set us up to go away to Dagenham and Redbridge. Like I say, a bogey team, a team that hasn't played so well this season, but does have a very good team for this level. And yeah, unfortunately, it felt like a little bit of an FMing. They finished up with better XG than us, but I mean, that I think was really helped by their penalty right at the end of the game. You can see they only had, I tell you what, that banging is absolutely awful. I've got no other time that I can make these videos, so I've got to do it. I really hope the microphone is not picking up too much of that banging. If you can't hear it, then that's absolutely fantastic, and you're going to wonder what I'm talking about. The microphone should be just picking up what's in front of it here, but that banging just seems so loud that I cannot imagine that you're unable to hear it. So sorry about the construction work the neighbours are still doing. So back to this game. We conceded early again. Diamond with a goal in the 6th minute. Really disappointing. And from there, we went on to dominate the game without really creating any XG. The first half, there were no other highlights, as I recall. Basically, the goal in the 6th minute was the only highlight. And then from the start of the second half, things just went crazy. I did rest some players here. McAvoy started at right back. Roberts came into the midfield. Sheaf came in at number 10. And Joe Hardy took James Price's place in the starting lineup. I took Joe Hardy off at half-time. He was playing a 6.2. I brought James Price on. From that point, we dominated the second half. All of the highlights were in our favour until they got a second goal in the 67th minute. Really against the run of play. At that point, they'd had 2 shots on target, 2 goals. We then got one back through Thomas Hughes. We were going all-out attack. And it was still all-out attack when in the 93rd minute, they got a penalty after a corner, a foul in the box, and they put the penalty away to score 3 from only 4 shots on target. So it was a frustrating one, but do you know what? I can't really complain. After winning 8 games in a row, being 9 games unbeaten, it was a run that had really saved our season. I just had to take this one on the chin. I couldn't really complain. We then played at home against Cheltenham, a 2-2 draw, and you're going to see it was a bit of a lucky grab to get the point in the end. We were 2-0 down at half-time. Cheltenham were much the better team in the first half. The second half, we really did improve a lot. We got one back from James Price, another assist from Ozonwafor, a really good goal from Price coming in to head in at close range. We proceeded to then, in terms of the highlights, dominate the second half, although we didn't have a particularly high XG. And by the end of the game, I'd actually just thrown everything at it. Joe Hardy came on as a striker, and we were playing with 3 strikers up front and just 1 centre-back. So Wilson was playing at centre-back against their forward. The 2 fullbacks were occupied by their wingers, and Cornish was marking their number 10. So it was 4-on-4 at the back and really just going for it. And in the 93rd minute, Matt Butcher with a ball over the top for George Lloyd, and he had a superb finish into the corner to get us a point. So after being frustrated against Dagenham and Redbridge, I was really pleased to get a point from this one. Again, another point against a team that is in the playoff places, going for promotion. And that leaves us now in a situation where we've got some really tough games to play. Kings Lynn, Bromley, Scunthorpe and Stockport all to come. And you can see Kings Lynn, Scunthorpe, Bromley are 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and Stockport are just above us on goal difference. So we've got the hardest running of any of these teams in the top half. We've really got to pull something special out of the bag to make the playoffs now. I'm not expecting to do it, but we have beaten some really good teams this season. You can see we're 3 points off the playoff places, 3 points behind Newport County, but with a game in hand, which could be crucial. We've basically just got to outdo Cheltenham, Eastleigh, Newport County, Crawley and Stockport. We've got to outdo 2 or 3 of them between now and the end of the season. It's going to be really tough, but we're going to give it a good go. We are playing today against Kings Lynn, who last season they were down the bottom end of the league. They've had a fantastic season. They've spent most of it in first place, but just of late their form has really dropped off. So they beat us comfortably 3-0 at home when we had an early sending off. But I'm hoping, look at this run they're on. They haven't had too many defeats, but they've drawn a lot and very few wins in the second half of the season. So I'm hoping that as one of the form teams in the league, we can do a lot better today and maybe get an unexpected win. And that would really set us up nicely for not Cheltenham. I believe it's Scunthorpe in a week's time, is it? Bromley, I'm sorry. So in a week's time, we play Bromley at home. If we can beat Kings Lynn, that gives us great confidence to take into that Bromley game. So we're going to do a double header today. These are two massive games. And yeah, it's win or bust. It's the same situation as last season, but we are now on some really, really good form. Something I didn't mention in the last episode, Ryan Crosdale left us. I did manage to get him moved on. And why is my tactical meeting not loading up here? This seems to happen every time. I think I've figured out how to get the national regional leagues and the Vanarama North and South off the database for next season. I'm hoping that'll speed things up. Yeah, we've completely frozen here. I might have to see what I can do about this, and we'll come back shortly. But yeah, I managed to get Ryan Crosdale off of the books. I offered him out on a free transfer with a friendly game as part of the deal, so we'll probably get sort of 4,000 out of it. Yeah, really good to get him moved on. I've got better options at the moment, and I also got Jay Williams loaned out. So Jay Williams, our longest serving player, he is out on loan for the rest of the season. We got his wage off the books, and that means we are under the wage budget, which is very, very good. And for the second part of this episode, I will show you some players that we have got confirmed for next season. And now I've clicked on team selection. Let's see how long that wants to take to load up. I tell you what it might be. I was actually finishing off a video of yesterday's episode, so it might have been that video just completed in the background, and that's what the big pause was. I'm going to presume it was that. So yeah, here we go. I've had to make a few changes for today's game because we've got players that were absolutely shattered after the Cheltenham game, really needed a rest. Staunton was one of them, but I'm going to keep him in for today's game because this is just a huge game against Kings Lynn. So Sam Blair in goal. Staunton will continue at right back. Buttroyd, who has had a suspension, so he's had a couple of games rest, he comes back in at left back. Isaac Smith and Scott Wilson are the centre backs, and we've got a bit of a problem with our other centre backs. McAvoy is injured for the rest of the season. He's out for about 3 more months. Really disappointing. And George Ray wants to leave, the captain, because he hasn't been starting enough games. He is really unhappy. He's training absolutely abysmally. And I'm hoping, as he's the captain and such an influential player, I'm hoping his attitude doesn't infect the rest of the squad. At the moment, you can see we've dropped off a little bit. I mean, some of that is because of the last couple of results, but I'm hoping that is not the George Ray effect. I mean, that could really derail the rest of our season. So that's disappointing. Sam Cornish also needs a rest. I cannot do it for this game. He continues in the ball-winning midfielder role. Matt Butcher partners him. He's had a real good turnaround, Matt Butcher. He's cemented himself as the starter in midfield above Max Sheaf. Really pleased with him, and I might even consider giving him a new contract for next season. Azonwa continues as the left winger, and Thomas Hughes is going to come in at number 10 because Liam Gibbs is absolutely shattered. Look, he needs a rest as well, and he's got an increased risk of injury. So I've just left him on the bench, and he'll come on if it's necessary. But Thomas Hughes has been playing fantastically well the last few games that he has played. I think his last 5 games, he's got something like a 7.25 average, and he scored a few goals as well. So I've got no worries about bringing him in. George Lloyd and James Price continue up front. The two of them are just scoring goals for fun. Hopefully that can continue. Completing the bench, I've got James Andrew Gibbons He is the right back, of course, and with Staunton being so tired, I want that right back option to come on. Gary Roberts, who's got a few games in midfield, been playing really well, really hopeful for him looking towards next season. And Max Sheaf, and then Liam Gibbs and Joe Hardy complete the bench. Let's see what we can do here. I've got Gabadebo, who's on very good form the last few games he's played, but he's not in good shape. He hasn't played enough games. I'm picking Gibbons over him just to have that right back option for today. So let's get into this. I mean, we've got a week's rest after this game, so hopefully we are not going to be too affected by the fitness issues. We've got enough time to recover, but I really need a good performance today. If we can just take advantage of the fact that Kings Lynn have dropped off a little bit, even though they haven't lost many games, if we can pull a big performance out of the bag, we could really shake up this league and hopefully give ourselves a shot of getting those playoff places with the last 4 games of the season. We could move into a playoff place with a win here. So yeah, it's affected us a little bit. We were in 6th, but the teams below us had games in hand. And then when we lost and drew the last 2 games, that just shifted us back out of the playoff places. Let's just set up some marking here. Azonwa been getting a lot of assists recently. He's going to follow their right back. And George Lloyd needs to go out and follow their left back when we're out of possession. That aside, I'm going to set up the 2 centre-backs to mark their strikers. They're just too dangerous a team not to give special attention to these guys. So, actually, they're playing with 1 striker. I thought they were playing 4-4-2. There you go. I didn't pay enough attention to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Sam Cornish back and mark their number 10. And we're going to mark him tightly as well. And that leaves Wilson free on the cover. And Thomas Hughes, I'm going to bring back and just mark their midfielder, who is left free by Cornish being moved back. So that's how we'll set up. I really hope that our new formation that gave us those 8 wins in a row can cause Kings Lynn problems as it has other teams. Hopefully the last couple of games are just a little blip and we can get a big performance here, but they get the first highlight. I mean, they are still only 2nd on goal difference. They've spent most of the season top of the league. So we shouldn't underestimate the quality that they've got. But we are a decent team of late as we give that away in the midfield and Vols puts it wide. We've probably had a little bit of a let-off there. And now they have possession again, and we are not having too much of the ball so far. But that is a great ball from Butcher for Azonwa. Can he get a cross in? He can, but Price can't get there. Just crowded out. It's not away yet, though. Hughes into Price. Butcher to Buttroyd and back to Hughes. Can anyone find a through ball? I mean, they are so good at the back, Kings Lynn. Look at that. They're just filling the space in front of the area there. But we are battling for the ball. We are having a go here. Azonwa out to Buttroyd. He gets it down the line for Butcher. Great ball in, and James Price puts us in front. James Price is 17th of the season. I think his first 6-7 games of the season, he didn't score a single goal. His rating was terrible. And then since coming back into the team, he has just exploded. He's shown his quality. He has proven himself this season to be one of the best goal scorers in the Vanarama National League. And, I mean, really, I think we would be lost without him. He's been fantastic. I'm convinced that if we can go pro and train full-time, he can become a real Football League quality striker. So happy with him. The 21-year-old just really tearing up this league now. And Cornish giving a pass away. He's not a bad passer, and he's been done for pace by Vols there. And now Isaac Smith gives a penalty away. Come on, Sam Blair. He's saved a few this season. We need him here. He can't save this one. Coker levels it up for them. And amazingly, with this amount of highlights, we are only 11 minutes into the game. 1-1 here. but we've started well, and hopefully we can continue to put them under pressure. Let's encourage the players here. I mean, it's been a really good start. Apparently they have had 5 shots to our 1. Is that true? I feel like we've done much better than that. Headed away, but it's a poor clearance, and they are in at the back post, and Voles, I think Voles with his pace is just giving Cornish absolute nightmares. Cornish cannot keep a hold of him at all. And I mean, look, he's just gone unmarked into the back post there. That is abysmal. Where on earth was Cornish after that initial set play? We're going to demand more here, and I think I need to make some changes here. I'm going to go attacking, and actually Voles is not the number 10 that Cornish is responsible for. He's the left winger, and he's giving now Staunton all sorts of problems, and we are not dealing with them at all here. Sam Blair does well to take that cross. Let's just make some changes to the instructions here. We're going more attacking, and I'm just going to ask them to press with a bit more intensity. I think outside of that, I think we're doing things right. I'm going to go a little bit more direct, and I'm going to take those overlaps off. Do you know what? I can't do that, can I? Because we don't play with a right winger. I'm going to keep the overlaps on, but I'm going to set Staunton to actually mark Voles, because he's given him a torrid time. And they are now well in control here, aren't they? Let's just set up specific marking for Staunton on Voles, because we have got to do a better job of looking after their left winger. He is absolutely giving us nightmares so far this game. Let's see if we can turn this game around. We've only had the 1 shot. It's actually, when you look at it now, I mean, you have to say it's been a poor performance. Let's berate the players, see if we get a reaction from them. Really disappointing considering how good we've been. I don't know how much of this is the George Ray effect, with him being disgruntled and having such an influence in the dressing room. Let's tell the players we haven't taken nearly enough shots. Tactically, what can I change here? I think I'm going to go into feet, and we're going to shoot on sight. I'm going to stop running at the defence as well, because we really haven't got much out of them at all. Ozonwa is playing a 6.2, which is very disappointing. Let's play with a bit more width, see if we can get him into the game more. I'm not going to make any substitutions just yet, but we're going to look and see how the second half goes. Hughes into Smith off the free kick. Out to Staunton, should get a cross in here. We don't, we do now. And Price, is that offside? It is. I knew it as soon as I saw it. Yeah. He's a mile offside, isn't he? Yeah, I could not get excited about that one. He just seemed to be in far too much space for that to have any chance of counting. Let's demand more of the players. It's a decent start to the second half, but still not good enough. Still not threatening. Let's make some changes here. Now, do I bring Gibbs in, or do I go 3 strikers? Ozonwa has been absolutely awful. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go 3 strikers and move Hughes out to the left wing and make him an advanced playmaker. Do you know what I'm going to support, because we're going to be 3 strikers, so he can support behind and hopefully feed them. And I'm going to make Hardy, I think I'm going to make him a pressing forward on that side, and I'm going to change Lloyd to a deep lying forward on the other side, so hopefully he comes a bit deeper to get the ball, and Sam Cornish is going to come off. Do you know what? I'm going to give Liam Gibbs the go. I'm going to put Liam Gibbs into the midfield. Do I leave him as a box-to-box midfielder? I mean, it says he can do it, but it's not really his role. Do I make him a Messala? I'm going to make him a Messala, but I'm going to change him onto the opposite sides. So Butcher goes across to that side as the ball-winning midfielder there. Do you know what? I'm going to make him a deep-line midfielder on defence and try and get hold of the ball deeper here. At this point, we've just got to try and change something. We're going to play out of defence, look to get Butcher on the ball, and then from there send the ball into Hughes, who combines with the front three. Let's see if there's any chance of that working. I'm going to ask the players to be more expressive as well. What else can we do? We'll distribute to the target man with us playing three strikers. Hopefully we can get hold of something there, and we're going to press them all the way up the field. Can we get something from this game? If we can't, playoffs are looking a distant possibility. Let's just demand more as well. See if we can get a bit more out of these players. We have had a few more shots now as we just go more direct. Even though we're playing out from the back, we're then passing in a more direct manner, trying to get the defenders on the ball, let them come on to us, and then just get those long balls in. Staunton does well there. Hardy combining with Hughes. Can we create from here? We get it back. Butcher. All the way back to Wilson, but Wilson. We need to get the ball into the forwards. Gibbs gets it from Blair. He'll get the ball into Lloyd. Gibbs back in, and it's blocked by the defender in the 6-yard box. That was a great chance. We get the ball back here. Butcher. And it's back into these three strikers. We're just desperately trying to get something. Price is in. Please finish Price. He does. 18 for the season. We've thrown caution to the wind. And the question now is, do I continue with the three strikers? And it's the first point in the game where we've really started to create. I think I might stick with them. A great goal. Butcher assisting again, really nicely done. What I am going to do here is I'm going to bring Staunton off, who's absolutely dead on his feet, for Gibbons. And I think I am going to just take those overlaps off. I'm going to trust Lloyd to do the job as a right winger coming out from the central positions. And I think, now do I go back to a positive mentality? All I'm going to do is not be expressive. I think this game could be there to win still. Fortune favours the brave. I'm going to leave it as it is. That might be absolutely crazy with 13 minutes to go. Gibbons is anxious. He hasn't played much this season. But let's encourage the players. I'll wait for the end of this highlight. Please do not come back to bite me. The fact that I've thrown caution to the wind by leaving three strikers on. They're straight in, and please tell me that's offside. It had to be, didn't it? Let's encourage the players. It looked like a pretty clear one again. Our offside trap working there. If they'd have gone into Warburton on the other side, he might have been called on. We get another highlight. Can we go and get a winner here? It's put into George Lloyd. They get it away, but only as far as Gibbons. To Gibbs, can he create something? Back to the defenders again. Gibbs gets on the ball. He's lost it, but it's back to Butcher. Hughes gets it in. And if Price had looked for that, I think he could have got it. Buttroyd gets it back. Hughes to Butcher. That is offside, no doubt about it. But Sargent has the ball. You've got to think there's a goal in this for someone. Is it going to be for them as they get in on the break here? Russell will cross. And it's blocked by Wilson on the line. A fantastic block. We've got to deal with the corner here. We get it away, but only as far as Russell. And it's still not clear. They will get another cross in. Butcher clears it. They get it straight back in again. And I just want this highlight to finish. Burns. And it's wide. We've survived again. Is there one more chance for us in this game? We are fully throwing caution to the wind here. I'm just going to knock it back to positive. I'm really... My heart is in my mouth right now as we get in down the line with Hardy. Can he cross? It's out to Gibbs. Gibbons will surely get a cross in. He does. Headed away at the back post, but Buttroyd will get it back in. What a game. Lloyd at the back post, and Gibbs has just missed a sitter. I don't believe it. I'm going to time waste. and I'm going to hold shape. Apart from that, I'm still going to give us the possibility of going for it. But no, don't do this to me, Football Manager. Not this way. Purrington, Morton will shoot. And Tyler Morton, the ex-Liverpool man that I saw is now there, puts it over. Can we get a late winner here? Price. Was that not a foul? Please don't do this to me. Burns is in. Oh my goodness, Football Manager. How many times have we seen this? How many times this season have we seen this? I don't believe it. Football Manager, how can you do this to me? I thought it was a foul there, and then look, Isaac Smith is winning this race. He lets it go over his head. And in the 93rd minute, Burns has won it for them. I'm fuming. Can we go 3-3 here at the death? Hardy is offside. I know he's going to be offside. I absolutely knew it. Football Manager just loves to do it to you, doesn't it? 2 offside goals we've had this game. And after a stirring comeback, we have more shots on target than them in the end. And we've lost the game. Is that my fault for not switching when we equalised? Not bringing another midfielder on? Do I have to take the blame there? It was an exciting second half, wasn't it? I really feel like we didn't deserve that. How many times this season have we conceded injury time goals to lose the points from a game? It seems like it's been a regular occurrence. I'm gutted, and I think with that we'll have to look at how results have gone for the other teams, but I think with that, with 5 games to go, I think we'd need a miracle now to make the playoffs. I think we need to win all 5 games, and 3 of those are against teams in the top half. 2 of them are against teams who are 3rd and 4th place at the moment. As we get into another media reaction loop. Yeah, again, as I've said many times in this series, if this media loop doesn't clear quickly, I will come back just to show you how the other results have gone. There you go. Every time I speak, it finishes. So we're only 4 points off the playoffs after that. Cheltenham have gone in there, but no one has got games in hand on us, which is nice. If we can win our game, if we can win our next few games and Cheltenham drop points, we are, in theory, still in with a chance. But I do think we've got to win at least 4 of our last 5. We've still got Bromley and Scunthorpe to play. That one really hurts. That one really does hurt. Kings Lynn have gone back to the top. Yeah, this is harsh. I've got 45 inbox items to go through because I've invited loads of young players who are being released from the Premier League clubs. I've invited them all in for trial, and I've signed a couple of them. In part 2, I'm going to tell you all about who they are. So click on the link for part 2 to find out who they are, and I think they're pretty special. I think they're really incredible prospects for next season. So I'll tell you all about them in part 2. There's a little incentive for you to click on the link. If you've enjoyed this episode or part 1 of this episode, give it a like, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye for now.